In today's video, I'm going to talk about a new power metal band called Power Paladin, and this is their debut studio album called With the Magic of Windfyre Steel. So the band is from Iceland. They formed in 2017, fairly new band. They're signed with Atomic Fire Records. So power metal is a subgenre that I'm kind of really not that much into, but last year, one of my favorite albums of the year, the self-titled Halloween album that came out, it was power metal, and I really love that. So now I'm interested in kind of checking out the genre a little more. I want to check out some bands. And actually I saw this one was released recently, and I guess I decided to do a review. So the band has everything you expect from a power metal album. It has the fantasy themed album cover. Kind of looks like one of your old Dungeons and Dragons manuals from the 80s. It has fantasy oriented song titles and lyrics. The sound is an old school power metal sound with melodic lead guitar riffs and high energy rhythms. With that being said, let's go through the songs on the album. So the album kicks off with Craven the Hunter. So this one starts out with a melodic lead solo and some very fast rhythms. The drums sound very good and the guitar feels remind me of like classic Iron Maiden. The lyrics are very fantasy oriented. They have mentions of like the Sword of Power, there's the Witching Hour and A Call to Thunder. The song even has those like whoa, parts of the chorus, the vocals, and I do like how they incorporate like a Spanish acoustic guitar solo in one part of the song, and very epic song to start the album. Next is Righteous Fury, and this one starts out with a melodic riff, then goes into something that reminds me of like the band Dragon Force with that like rapid fire technical riffing. The song also has like fantasy inspired lyrics, talking about elders and slaying monsters. I also like how they incorporate some like heavy like death metal style growls into the mix. The guitar solo sounds a lot like the Legend of Zelda theme song. I don't know why, but it just does. And anyway, pretty decent song. Next is Evermore. This one starts with a slow epic piano intro that slowly builds, but it's not a ballad. There's actually no like real ballads on this album, but there are parts of songs that are like a little slower. But anyway, the song does take off after with heavy metal power chords and like epic soaring vocals. This one does sound a little like that classic Halloween. There's a spoken word interlude in the song and a very melodic guitar solo. And it also has those like whoa lyrics in the chorus. Next is The Dark Crystal, and this is inspired by that 80s fantasy movie. It does have another like Iron Maiden feel with like the stop-start riffs in the intro and the fast rhythms and the galloping guitar riffs. Fairly heavy song. The vocals are a little more like edgy on them, a little like stronger. The chorus is still very melodic and memorable, and you also hear some of the keyboards on the song as well. Next is Way of the Kings. This one starts off with a melodic riff going into some heavy, crunchy guitar rhythms. The main guitar riff on this song is very catchy and memorable, and the vocals also sound very good. They have the both like higher and lower register vocals in the chorus. This next is Ride the Distant Storm. This one has some very fast-paced and technical riffing. I like the part in the middle of the song that has like these chunky galloping guitars. Kind of reminds me of like classic old school power metal. So this part goes into like a keyboard solo. It reminded me a little of like Deep Purple. And I thought that was pretty cool. And after that, there's like a shredding solo. So this is another pretty decent song. After that is Creatures of the Night. And this is not to be confused with the album or song by Kiss. It's completely different. It starts with some kind of like wizard speaking, and then it goes into like this cool guitar riff. The vocals are very melodic, but the song still packs a lot of energy and melody. So the vocals do, go into that upper range at different points. There are parts of the song that do remind me of like the band Slaughter, with like Mark Slaughter's vocals. I also like the sound of the bass guitar during the breakdown, and it goes very well to some like organ playing in the background, and I think that works very well with the song. Now there are two more songs, and these ones are like a little longer than the other ones. Like the first couple of songs are like 5 minutes, and these are like 6 and 7 minutes. So this one has like an epic feel. It's called Into the Forbidden Forest, and you do hear the guitars and bass very well working together. So the drums do a good job of keeping the fast-paced rhythms. The chorus is very catchy and memorable. At the near 5-minute mark, there's like an epic breakdown. Everything like slows down. There's some keyboards. They come like to the forefront at this point in the song. And I also like the use of the slow, crunchy guitar riffs during this breakdown. The final song is called There Can Be Only One. This is based on a Highlander movie. Starts with a slow building piano intro. After about a minute, it kicks off with like some classic heavy metal riffs with distorted guitars. Then it has these like galloping guitars, kind of reminding me again of classic Iron Maiden. You do hear the keyboards in the background, creating song textures. The vocals are very melodic during the verse section, and pretty cool album closer or something. In conclusion, I'm not really the biggest fan of power metal, but I did enjoy this one more than I thought. It has this old school power metal feel, so lots of melodic guitar riffs, high energy drumming. I've been mentioning a couple of bands, but it does remind me of like that old like Keepers era Halloween, or maybe some like early Iron Maiden. So if you like those bands, you'd probably like this. There are also some keyboards in the song, but they are kind of mixed low. They kind of create more sound textures, and that keeps like the vocals and the guitar riffs like in the forefront. Songs are well written and they're very catchy. The production is decent. I think you do hear the instruments very well. And I will give this an 8.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comments if you have listened to the album or if you have heard this band. So next week I will be doing the best albums of 1975 and 1976. And I will also have an anniversary review of The House of the Blue Light by Deep Purple. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe. Check out some of the other videos. I'll stick them like right over there, and I'll see you all in the next one.